Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Frank and Candid. I am Tony Nass. Good to have you on board on this hump day, Wednesday. Hope all is well and ready to face this day. Make it a productive one. Let's do as we usually do. We're going to some news here. Let's go to the Vatican. A Roman Catholic cardinal who was once a close ally of Pope Francis has gone on trial in the Vatican, accused of misusing church funds in a ruinous London property venture. Cardinal Angelo Becciu, 73, is the most senior cleric in modern times to face trial for alleged financial crimes. He is charged with spending £350 million of church money on a botched deal to buy a property in Chelsea that incurred huge losses. He denies any wrongdoing, of course. And St. Lucia numbers are in, and it's 13-2. The St. Lucia Labour Party really put on a shellacking, as we would say, on the UWP down in St. Lucia, capturing 13 of those seats, 13 of the 17. 2 of those seats going to the UWP, and 2 independent candidates captured seats there as well, which will lead us into a conversation sometime next week, because we will dig into how independent candidates fare throughout the Caribbean generally. And this is historical, and we will look into that. Stephenson King is a name we all know. He left the party, captured his seat as an independent. So we will follow that and see how that works out, as far as especially what happens on the opposition bench. Who will be the opposition leader, since the the UWP has 2 seats and there are 2 independent seats. So we'll see how that works out. We'll follow that next week sometime. But today, as promised, we are keeping our focus on this weekend, independence. Sorry, are we really independent? Emancipation. Liberation of our people. And I'll keep asking the question, are we really emancipated? Other than the shackles that our ancestors had, what about our minds? We talked about that through the week, and we will continue that discussion today. But the good news is today we have a guest in studio who will help us sort some of this out. She is Carla Astafan, and she is of the St. Kitts Nevis National Reparations Committee, and we will have a discussion this morning on that committee and its doings and reparations, as well as a discussion on emancipation and going forward. So, without much more, let me say good morning and welcome to you, Carla.
Good morning, Tony. Thanks for having me here today. I'm honored to be your guest on Frank and Candid. I remember coming here last year around this time and sat with another host. So it's good. We're keeping the fire burning on this topic.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Well, let's begin with you are of the National Reparations Committee. So let's begin there. We've been asked many a times, what is the situation now? Could you bring us up to date on your committee's activities and where we are with respect to reparations?
Okay. The St. Kitts Nevis National Reparations Committee has been meeting since it was formed. Selected a select group of people who put on this committee from various aspects of our various areas in our country. St. Kitts and Nevis, so we have members from Nevis and from St. Kitts in different spheres, and we have been meeting. We've also been attending the CARICOM Reparations Commission meetings, so we know what other countries within CARICOM are doing. CARICOM Reparations Commission created a mandate back as 2013, where they came up with a plan for reparatory justice. That 10-point plan, which includes an apology, repatriation, indigenous peoples development, health, public health, because of course, our health deteriorated as a result of slavery. That the indigenous people were massacred in all of the islands, and their communities were decimated with the colonization that took place. And so the plan continues. Cultural, there's the cultural aspect, there's association with Africa, I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, of course. So that 10-point plan, we have been trying to...
Literacy.
Right. Illiteracy eradication and so on. So we had planned at the beginning of this year, and plans do go awry, but we are still on course. We had planned to have every month to come to the people to educate them about an aspect of the plan. Okay, we've started with a panel discussion here on ZIZ, where we asked the question about European colonization and its effect on us psychologically, economically, our education, our religion and so on, how it affected us and how can we move away from that. So we had a very interesting panel discussion here on ZIZ. I know ZIZ TV continues to play that. We also had another panel discussion on the apology. And so we want to continue in that vein. It means getting people who are willing to talk on panels, and if people are listening and they feel like coming forward, we have all of these different aspects that we need to talk about, that we need to converse about. So that's one of the things we thought about. We actually have it about the monuments. So we've decided as an early something that we would like to do, and we put it into a budget which was handed to the government last year, for monuments to be built in memory of things that happened. So firstly, I've looked at the indigenous people who were massacred, because even though we talk about Bloody Point, the indigenous people were the people who were living on this island when Europeans arrived and they colonized and massacred these people. We feel that there should be something at Bloody Point, not just saying it's Bloody Point, but where is the monument to these people that we can visit, that people can learn, that it can be a place of memory, as per Colonel Stapleton's book, Places of Memory. He has this book, Places of Memory. There's another story within that book that speaks about the very first rebellion by the enslaved people in 1639, where people ran up into Mount Lyamega. The Africans who were enslaved here, 60 of them ran into Mount Lyamega, and we learned of the fact that they were hunted down by the French, by Pierre, what's his name, Governor de Poissy. Okay, so the Governor de Poissy hunted down these people, and one man remained at large. Where is the monument? Many people don't even know that story, but he has it in his book. So maybe those are two places, and it's about also decentralizing, because everything tends to be in Bastille. So here you have a monument to the indigenous people and a monument to our first rebellion. Very strategic. We thought about Nevis as well, because it's a St. Kitts and Nevis thing. So what's happening? We are looking at what happened in Nevis, and I like using Stapleton's book because he talks a lot about the rebellion, the fact that our people were not just embracing enslavement, they were fighting back. And so there's a place called Maroon Hill in Nevis that we spoke about at our meetings. So there's work to be done. We're identifying as many places as possible where insurrections took place, because it's very important for our people to know and understand that slavery was not something that our people just lay down and got stepped on. They fought back, and they found many different ways in which to fight back.
Let me ask you then, when we think about the 10-point plan put up by CARICOM and so on, speaking about the path to reconciliation and truth and justice and all of that, let's take the first one. They talk about a full and formal apology. How far have we gotten with that? I mean, anybody willing to come forward?
Actually, it is making, some movement is taking place. You've heard places like Lloyd's and, come forward with an apology. I think they said the church, I know the Catholic Church many years ago gave an apology.
Okay.
Britain hasn't formally apologized. They've moved away from that because an apology would mean it's time for you to pay those reparations. So they are staying away from that.
Right, yeah.
But people, families, corporations and so on, banks that have traced, the universities that have traced their success back to slavery, that it started with slavery, are beginning to make reparations. They have started making apologies and so on. So those are the steps that's happening so far.
Yeah, and in terms of actual, I had read someplace where the British had given some form of payment to Jamaica, but they did so citing certain things that must be built with the funds, as in prisons and something like that.
Okay.
Some time ago. But anyway, the article spoke about that and saying, well, that was an ulterior motive. They wanted to ship back some prisoners from England anyway.
Yes. I saw it. But to continue on where you started, where you asked me, what are we doing? So there are lots of different plans that we've had. Let's have something in the schools where, at one of the very early things, and as because of my love for the arts and crafts and so on, I thought about the young people doing a logo competition so that we of the SKNRC could judge that and see which one we would take on. So that's something we thought about, an interpretation of reparations among the young people, and so they in their own form showing what reparations mean. This week with emancipation, well, I don't want to jump, but we have, we are planning, we've made a few plans for emancipation. The 23rd of August is also another significant date. So we are looking at, going through from the 1st of August throughout August as a significant time to do some of the things, whether it's a panel discussion, whether it's a hike, media appearances and so on, all of those things.
Well, let's talk about emancipation then. Let me start by talking about the holiday itself, what it means, and why is it that so many people today, I was talking to you about how during this week I have spoken to so many people who don't even know this weekend is a holiday.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, they don't even know what the holiday is and what it means. So how much of a challenge is that for you and your team?
I think it has been a challenge for years, not only for this committee, but for other conscious people who have tried, to make this day a very important day. People may wonder, why is this a holiday? As I said a few days ago, it was very strategic what was done to our people post-emancipation, wherein a holiday was called August holiday, the first Monday in August, August Monday. The idea of the 1st of August as Emancipation Day was eradicated from our minds. So we moved along, it's August Monday, it's time to picnic and so on.
Right.
We did not have a true sense of what it was. So it's going to take work for us to undo the damage that was done. And so this is what I am trying, you know, and others have tried to do, and the committee is trying to do, to resensitize people about this day because it's important to us. So what happened on the 1st of August throughout the British Caribbean? Not only St. Kitts and Nevis, throughout the British Caribbean. On the 1st of August, after 200 years of enslavement, slavery was abolished. At that time, the planters were compensated. Britain promised them a compensation package to the tune of £20 million sterling for the loss of their enslaved people.
And that's their money at that time.
Yes, they took a loan, I think, because we were still paying for it up to 2015. Recent discovery was made. They also added a 4-year apprenticeship period where the enslaved worked less hours,
right,
and they were given a few hours to themselves, but there were lots of what's the word? They did not stick to the plan. Okay, so even if it was still slavery, yeah. As a matter of fact, when I studied history, I learned that it was supposed to be 4 years for those who worked in the houses, who were not working in the plantations, and 6 years for those who worked in the plantations. The planters, the enslavers, were very cunning, so they wanted to put all their enslaved as field workers so that they could get 6 more years. Okay?
Right.
With all of the inconsistencies happening, Britain finally decided 1st of August 1838, a 4-year period, slavery would be totally abolished.
Right.
For the next 100+ years, we struggled. We see our people are still struggling up to today. You know, we know of the Buckley's uprising in 1935 and that era there of unionization, of workers' strikes and so on, because people were living not too far removed from enslavement, and that is throughout the region again. Okay, so this day, the 1st of August, is important to us. Whether for Antigua, who actually their enslavers decided not to do the 4-year, or for us who got full emancipation on the 1st of August 1838. The 1st of August is an important day.
Right.
Recently, I'm going to put it in this context for you. Over the last 10-15 years, I would say, we've heard of the development of Black History Month. Okay? Did you and I have a Black History Month when we were growing up?
No, we did not.
How did Black History Month start off? It started in America. We've embraced it. Okay? It's something, that came out of the movement for empowerment among African Americans in America. We have embraced it. So today we hear a lot about Black History Month. We are hearing all of the inventors. We are hearing about all of that. This is a good thing. Okay? Recently we've heard of Juneteenth.
Now a holiday.
Right. It's now a holiday in America. It's being embraced. This is our Juneteenth is not the Caribbean. Juneteenth happened for the Americans 30 years after the abolition of slavery in the British Caribbean. So this is our Juneteenth, 1st of August.
Okay.
The Americans are praising up their Juneteenth, the Black Americans, and they're making it's a holiday now, and you're seeing it. I mean, when I look, Juneteenth, T-shirts, all of that. Where is our Emancipation Day? This is what we need. We should be planning for our Emancipation Day the same way.
That leads me to the question then. All of that is true. How can our institutions, private, public, the churches, all of them, how can they play a part in this education campaign? If some of them don't even want to mention it.
That is what they did, and I personally reached out. I texted whatever different pastors whom I knew or asked other people to get me this person's number, and I've asked them, spread the word among your pastors.
It's good. It's on a Sunday.
Yes, right? Sunday coming is the 1st of August, and so are you doing a program? Are you doing a program? Oh gosh, I forgot.
Right, exactly.
You understand?
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm calling you now. Today's Sunday. I'm calling because I made a lot of calls on Sunday.
Right.
I'm calling you now. Today's Sunday. Think about it. Okay, do something. I remember I said it on another radio station. I remember another Sunday like this one coming up. I was sitting in church because I'm Catholic, and I know people like to say, "How are you remaining Catholic when this, that?" I'm Catholic, and I sat in church. It was the 1st of August that year on a Sunday, and nothing was mentioned, and I could not take it. The notices were given, everything, and Carlot got up, and I went up to the altar, and I said, "Can I say a few words, please?" You understand?
Okay.
And I spoke. That's many years ago. I was that is how incensed I was.
Right.
You understand? And this is what I'm saying. We have to feel it within ourselves that this is so important, that this is what I have to do. So the youth groups, the people who are in the know, steer your people, make them more conscious, because it's not something that we should forget. The Americans are not forgetting. Why do we always want to peddle with the Americans? Nothing is wrong with that, but we have our own stories as well. So let us big it up.
So, what do we have in store in terms of activities for the weekend, for Sunday?
Well, for this weekend,
this
I've dubbed it. I know Kittitians, I know we love as a people, African people, one of the things we love is to dress up and to show our colors that sort of thing. So we've decided something very easy to do, given that we did not really know what was going to be happening this weekend in terms of COVID and, we've dubbed it something very easy that you can do, and something they did in Black History Month is an Africa dress weekend.
Okay.
You understand?
Okay.
African dress.
It'd be nice to see the city like that, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So you're going shopping, you're going to work, pull out those clothes that you had in your closet from Black History Month and wear them again. Let us brighten up the place. The children are not in school, so we cannot say, they would dress up and have an Africa Day. We're saying, bring out those clothes again.
Right.
Your T-shirt with your African thing on it, your Black Power sign, your whatever, your African colors, your kente cloth, whatever it is you have. You go into the market on Saturday.
Right.
Same thing. You go into church on Sunday.
That would be
all
great.
of those
that
things.
Would be great to
you
see.
understand? That is what I'm saying. I am depending on people themselves to do it.
Right.
You have to feel it to do it. So I'm pushing that. Wear your African inspired masks.
That would be nice.
So this is what
significant awareness campaign.
Yes, very small but significant.
Yeah, significant, yes.
And I'm also saying, take your pictures, hashtag SKNNRC, hashtag St. Kitts Reparations Committee, hashtag Emancipation Day 2021. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. We're going to allow you, the customers, to join us in this conversation. We're going to take a quick break, though. When we come back, 465-2555 and 718-577-2916 are the numbers to join Carla and myself in this discussion about Emancipation Day. Let's take a break and come right back.
At ZIZ, we want to take a moment to salute our small business owners and encourage you to support them. Our small business owners are always hard at work providing quality goods and services to you. They also provide employment for many and can be counted on to give back to our communities. Today and every day, we salute our small business owners and we say thank you for the opportunity to provide advertising services to you. If you're a small business, call us at 465-2621 to join our family of small business advertisers. Call us 465-2621. You'll be glad you did. Come to Sun Pharmacy for all your prescription medication and healthcare supplies. 2 convenient locations: Keon Street next to the Chinese supermarket and in the food court at Port Zante. Sun Pharmacy, we care about your health. Telephone 466-1074 or 466-1077. Sun Pharmacy, your pharmacy. Sun Pharmacy accepts all bank cards and medical insurance plans from Nagico Insurance, Sagico Insurance, and National Caribbean Insurance.
refresh, and win $10,000 cash with Coca-Cola. Yes, you could be the lucky winner of $10,000 cash when you enjoy a 591 ml Coca-Cola Original Taste or 591 ml Sprite. Look under the special yellow cap to find your unique code. Promotion runs May 21st to August 13th. Terms and conditions apply. See press and in stores for details. Coca-Cola, open for better. Please follow all COVID-19 protocols when redeeming prizes.
All right, welcome back to our conversation here as we approach Emancipation Weekend. We got the phones lighting up. Carla is here. Carla, we're going to take a couple of calls and hear what these callers have to say. Let's go straight to the lines and say good morning. Welcome.
Okay, good morning.
Good morning.
Carla, I think your efforts seem to be valued. But I hope that your efforts that you and your committee are making would not be a continuing talk shop. Now, you mentioned a few things that I like. I ain't going to go in depth, but I deal with the local aspect. You talk about the people, the runaway slaves who were massacred. In Jamaica, the first man who fall when they had a president, they have him on $100 note. I think his name was Christoph Attock or something like that. Paul Bogle, one of them names. Okay. You also said that they like to go everything jumble up in Bastille. Now, in the St. Paul's area, a monument for that could go there. And Bloody River, I see a place where it could something could go to. But remember when those who were massacred in the Bloody River?
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, I know a place where that could go right there, and he would be seen by visitors and nationals alike. But what I want to say lastly, I got a lot of things I could say about this one. While you mentioned this thing about Mount Limeega, the runaway slaves, you had Marcus of the Woods and so forth.
Yes.
If you identify where these people suffered their fate, identify all of them who are prominent. Identify them. You have to spend a year. Let's say set up a 5-year plan. 1 year would to identify these people. 1 year for something else. Instead of just talking about them over and over and over. Because lastly, I don't know, you're Dominican by birth, and I know that you know about the Caribs up there. But do you know that some of the people in the Carib territory, they originated in St. Kitts?
Yes.
From the same massacre, they retreated to Dominica. And me, personally, had some talk with some people, anthropologists, etc., from Holland, University of Leiden. And one of the professors came to look for me after some initial talk. And then I put a story to him. And he went to the Caribbean territory when they were on a mission around the region. And he came back and told me, this name, I can't remember the name. Langley. This name Langley is a original name from the Caribbean. And people in the Caribbean territory told him that they originated in St. Kitts. They retreated from the massacre with Thomas, one of them.
Okay.
So that's a good link. So we could focus on different things. Take a year to do one thing, and you come up with your your end stories.
All right.
Okay.
And then we can move on. Have a good day. I think your efforts are good, but the time is too short.
Okay. Let's get another call in here before you respond. Caller, go ahead. Welcome.
Hey, Tony, I'm on.
You're on.
Okay, Mr. Nice, I'm calling from New York. This is Alfonso, better known as Sonny Boy. I have two questions for the lady.
Okay.
Who's going to benefit from the reparations and who's going to pay?
Okay.
Okay. All right. She'll answer in a minute. Let's go take this next call. Good morning.
Hello?
Hello, you're live.
Yes, Tony, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, caller. This is Journey here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Mr. Niles, now pertaining to what caller is saying, we here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we have to find ways that we can try and reach our people to make them understand that the knowledge of self is knowledge that is within. Once you become aware of who you are, as to where we originated from, we need to have self-respect for our people, recognizing the greatness of our people. We were robbed by the colonizers, and we were robbed on many different scales. We need to find where we originated from and try to identify with that, because the colonizers know our greatness and they hid it from us. If you, Carla, you said you're Catholic, well, I respect your belief. What our people had was spirituality, and they broke that from us. Now, if you know, I read out to Mr. Nair some time ago, and Carla, you can check this out. It is Lord Macaulay's letter to the British Parliament on 2nd of February, 1835. Take note. The 2nd of February, 1835, Lord Macaulay wrote to the British Parliament in Britain, telling them, and I'm just quoting because I'm not going to go over the whole thing now because of time.
I think I've heard you talk about it before on another show. So it's
So I'm saying that our people had spirituality, and this race of people, the black melanated race, we are the only race that show reverence to nature. Nature represents us, and we have to show reverence to nature. They broke our spirituality, and they gave us religion in Christianity. We need to recognize where we came from, who we are, and what we can be. Today, women and men, but women in particular, because you see, creation began within the womb of the woman. What was invisible from the Most High was made visible in the form of the womb of the woman. So we have to have respect for the women. There is where it all began, Carla, and we need to educate our people. Today, women are disrespecting them. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call.
Let's get Carla to respond. Oh, we got one caller. Let's take this one caller, and then Carla can respond to those calls. Quickly, caller, go ahead.
Greetings in the name of our great African ancestors, especially in the most honorable Marcus Messiah Gavian Queen and Zing, and in the spirit of Marcus of the Woods. So blessed be my beloved African sister, Sister Carla, and Brother Nias. How are you, sister and brother doing?
Doing well.
Wonderful.
All right. Let me just, the first caller, Brother Crispus Attacks, was the first African person who died, the first person in general who died with the American Revolution. And you're talking about Paul Burgley in Jamaica, my beloved brother. No, Sister Carla, you see, our people must get it right. And if you can't get it right on your own, you might reach out to others, other Africans, my beloved sister. I heard you say that religion, Africans never be religious people. We are a spiritual people. Religion was imposed upon us in the first instance by the Arab/Muslim, that's Islam. And Christianity was imposed upon us by the Europeans, my beloved sister. Now, the problem I have is administration after administration after administration is same neo-colonial thinking and practices, and it's same nonsense that European left for us. You want to tell me? Let me deal it from Bratcher. Come up from Bratcher time. I know that was on statehood. Up to this time, my beloved sister, nothing whatsoever is taught in the public schools when it comes to our people, from then our great African ancestors up to this day. It's a shame and a disgrace. And you want to tell me, when we deal with this administration,
Quickly, we got
ain't got nothing to do with politics now. Almost 5 years, Sister Carla, and you know that too, that we had a non-existent in the National Reparations Committee there in St. Kitts Nevis until I heard you say you wrote to Dr. Harris. Come on, what kind of backwardness and self-hate and disrespect and dishonor to our great African ancestors? Come on, it's a shame and a disgrace.
All right, Carl,
What you said, beloved?
Okay, we got to let it respond. So
no, but I'm not finished.
Wrap up for me, please.
All right.
You got to wrap up quickly.
You know, because I notice when you talk the truth, you got some people in black faces. When you talk the truth about Caucasian and others, they don't want to hear you because they're afraid. Oh, you let this thing your friend and all kind of nonsense. You see, we must talk the truth, man.
Okay, so I have some.
This St. Kitts Nevis is an African country.
Got you. Okay. Got you. Thank you for your call. Go ahead, Carla.
I'm gonna answer. Okay, so starting with the first caller, who talked about the different places and so on, and that we should spend a year looking at that. That work has already been done for us. As I quoted Colonel Stapleton's book, Places of Memory, he has identified places both on St. Kitts and Nevis. So we don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. All of what you've spoken about is what I am saying. Initially, we are talking about at least one monument in Nevis, 2 in St. Kitts, one for the indigenous people, one for the first where the first revolt took place. Okay, there are other places. Yes, we know of Marcus of the Woods. Yes, we know of the woman. What's her name? Her name always escapes me. What I am saying at the end of the day is that there were many stories of revolt, and so we have to start somewhere. So those were the 3 initial ones that we're thinking of. Okay, so is that what he's basically saying, right? Mm-hmm. The next caller spoke about the reparations package. Right. At the abolition of slavery on the 1st of August, after the abolition of slavery, 1st of August 1834, over 1,000 claims were made for compensation of the loss of enslaved people. The payout of claims to St. Kitts was 767 claims. Okay, Nevis was 304 claims were made. That equated to, in Nevis, the payout, £150,000, and on St. Kitts, almost £300,000. The loss of the enslaved, the number of enslaved people on Nevis, 8,792, and on St. Kitts, 17,000. So Nevis 8,792, Nevis 17,514. So when you listen to this, you hear the numbers. What does that equate to in today's currency? Well, we can work that out, and I have that information in my report, which I will pass to the Prime Minister, okay, as to what that equates to in today's dollars. Additionally, that 4-year apprenticeship period, Sir Hilary Beckles has it, talked in his book about that period equating to £27 million sterling, so which was paid out to the British Caribbean. So you have 20 million paid out to the British Caribbean for the loss of the enslaved, and an additional 27 million for the period, that 4-year period. So of course a fraction of that would be St. Kitts would be has to go to St. Kitts, right? CARICOM is asking the European countries who benefited from enslavement to do these payouts. I know some people are looking at individual claims, and you can, if you so desire, try to make those individual claims, but I've looked at the information. There are those who had between 1 to 100 enslaved people, those who had 100 to 300 plus. And so the size of their package that they got was significant. Okay? We cannot go into all of the individuals and say, you pay back this. We cannot, to their descendants. We have to say, this is the package. This is what it is. This is what we going to want. This is what St. Kitts. And you also have to add in the fact, even after the abolition of slavery, after full emancipation, what happened? How were we living? So all of this needs to be taken into consideration so that we can receive a proper package. Okay, precedents have been set in other countries where reparations have been paid. So we are asking, so the ask has to be significant. Recently, we heard Jamaica come up with a number as to whether it's accurate or not. I can't say, but we have to do the work here, and that is what I have been doing, communicating, reading, looking at the sites. I've seen, I keep going back to that site where I can find the information, and I'm working with someone who has the knowledge to crunch the numbers to say, well, this is what it's going to be, this is what it's going to look like, right? So this is what I can say at this point as to that.
Okay.
Anything else that I missed?
No, that was basically it. And that is one of the bigger questions we get from time to time when people talk about reparations. Who benefits and who pays? That's how do you decide what's paid and who gets what?
Right.
And
I know, and this is the thing. I've been doing this. I've spent some time reading, researching, working with a professor overseas who has the information, who has helped others within the Caribbean, and I'm trying to get those, and state why we have to do this, state a case for St. Kitts and Nevis. And you can see, the numbers are there. I'm quoting from Nicholas Draper, The Price of Emancipation, Slave Ownership, Compensation, and British society at the end of slavery. So that's where I've gotten the information from. Other writers, but from what I understand, Nicholas Draper is really the authority on that period, and so I'm giving the information based on that.
And as you pointed out, a lot of these guys, as in the case of Beckles and some others, have actually put a figure in place that represents today's dollars. Right. So that's a important place to
so
start.
we don't, as I said, we don't have to go and reinvent the wheel. What we need is a groundswell of support. So for people to be coming forward, not just to say, well, let us do this or let us do that. We're a small committee, and we are trying to make proposals as to whether the proposals that we make are going to be what's the word I'm looking for? Approved, and so that we can get the funding, so that we can move ahead, is a whole other story that will depend on how government sees how they want to spend their money. But I'm trying to do things otherwise that doesn't cost anything, and I can say, well, let's run with this. This weekend, we've been locked down for how many weeks? We haven't been able to plan this or plan that. Let's consciously look at a change in our dress for this weekend. We tend to be very Europeanized and so on in our style. We are more modern and this sort of thing. Let us infuse some of our African culture into our dress. Thus, Africa Dress Weekend.
How much collaboration is there between other islands and their reparations committee, such that there is a oneness or do you necessarily want a oneness?
Well, the CARICOM Reparations Commission has meetings every, I think it's quarterly. So there's a meeting due to happen sometime soon. We also had a joint CARICOM meeting of CARICOM committees. So from throughout the region, Suriname, Bermuda, and so on, all these people, Dominica, Barbados, Guyana, the youth arm of the Guyana Reparations Committee, and those are things that can come from us as well.
Right.
Where is our youth arm? The youth. Someone, as a matter of fact, someone talked about our history and the fact that we are not teaching the history. The history is being taught. It's just a lot of them what sticks. You understand? So people do know. It's just that mostly because it's not hyped. There's no hype around emancipation. People forget. Okay, so we are very much on par with what the other countries are doing. As I said, Antigua is having a similar address day. They're doing Friday as Africa Dress Day. And they're saying as well, post and hashtag, and they will monitor their site and do and give a prize. I didn't promise a prize because I don't know. I haven't had approval for that or don't have the funding for that. But if someone out there feels, oh, I want to give a prize for that or a few prizes, then they can come forward. Some company out there might say that, okay, I want to give a prize for the best dress on that weekend, some post that, or the most likes or some, because that's the era in which we live. We are social media addicts right now. And so you post your pictures, you get likes, whatever, and we see. So this is what we are saying, right?
There is, about 2 weeks ago, I shared a article coming out of Jamaica, where there was a resolution in the parliament with regards to reparation, and then coming out of that there was to be a letter sent off to the Queen or something. And one of the pushbacks I got was, why is Jamaica doing that solo? And that is why I asked the question about collaboration. And the other thing that we get a lot of is that some of our own people do not really, well, how should I put it, care. They don't even identify themselves as Africans or African descendants. And so in all of that, there's a whole lot of challenge, I guess, for people who are fighting the fight. And so I wonder how that works for you and those type of challenges that you meet.
I was trying to find for you what CARICOM Reparations Commission. There was a public there was something put out in the media, press release from CARICOM Reparations Committee as to what happened with the Jamaica. So it says, I have an article here, Face to Face Africa, where it shows that Jamaica, what you're saying, Jamaica is all set to petition the Queen for billions in reparations, to pay reparations to citizens of the Caribbean island. I think CARICOM did put out a press release. I'm trying to see, where did I send it? I know I sent it to someone. I thought I put it in. So there was, they were kind of very careful as to how that should be seen, whether it's not coming from CARICOM. I think CARICOM wanted to do a package, and the individual governments first go to CARICOM. Before putting something like that out there. I think the media picked it up before it was it was ready, before they were ready, and I think that was the problem there.
Okay, let's see if we can get one or two calls in.
Okay.
Before we go. Go ahead, caller, you're live. Caller, you're live, go ahead.
Okay.
Okay, let's take the next one. Good morning, you're live. Okay,
so I am actually put on the CRC statement. Someone is on the line. Okay, CARICOM Reparations Commission welcomes recent developments in the movement for reparative justice, especially in the Caribbean and across the United States, and the wide media coverage of the movement in the aftermath of the globalization of the Black Lives Matter campaign. Rastafari, civil society organizations, and prominent public figures in the Caribbean, like Honorable Michael Lester Mike Henry and Honorable Oliver Grange in Jamaica, Honorable Ralph Gonzalez of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Honorable Maya Motley of Barbados, and Honorable Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda have consistently emphasized the urgent need for reparations and recompense, especially for the crime of chattel slavery. In the wake of these developments, the CRC reiterates its demand to the European states that colonized the region to immediately begin reparations negotiations with CARICOM. The CRC is encouraged by the progress being made in the United States to bring the H.R. 40 bill to the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives for a vote in the weeks ahead. The CRC also notes the results of a recent public poll conducted by the Congressional Black Caucus, which shows reparations as the #1 issue on the minds of the African American electorate. The UN Human Rights Council's recent landmark report calls on member states of the United Nations to pay reparations to the countries and communities that have been victimized by centuries of systemic racism and by the ongoing legacies and harms of the African enslavement. The global movement for reparative justice is witnessing significant momentum outside the United States, particularly in Europe, Africa, and Latin America regions in the International Decade for the People of African Descent and the 20th anniversary this year of the Durban Declaration and Program of Action. Reparations for African enslavement, indigenous peoples genocide, deceptive indentureship, and other colonial atrocities continue to resonate across the region. The CRC's 10-point plan remains a crucial blueprint for sustainable social and economic development throughout the Caribbean. The reparations movement across the Caribbean and the globe is a big tent movement. There is enough space inside this tent for a wide variety of reparations initiatives, projects, and currents, all of which agree on a common objective and goal: justice and restitution for historical crimes of slavery. The righteous reparations messages are resonating powerfully across the world. Reparations initiatives and projects in the states and municipalities across the United States are mushrooming in the wake of the horrific murder of George Floyd in the US, ironically on Africa Day 2020, and the massive street demonstrations which followed, led by the Black Lives Matter movement. So,
Okay.
Basically, I will not.
Let's see if we get a call in. Good morning. Welcome. Welcome to Frank and Candid.
Yeah. Good morning, Mr. Knight.
Good morning.
And good morning, Carla.
Good morning.
I have not much to say, but to say, no retreat, no surrender. No retreat, no surrender. No retreat, no surrender. I'm going to bring it home. We also coincide with the Christina disaster, and I'm going to simplify this. We have been agitating for a monument for the Christina disaster here in St. Kitts. But on the minds of our people, how recent an event must be. Yes, the Christina disaster happened in 1970 when I was 10 years old, living in Newtown. But other lives of our ancestors has been lost along the way. So no matter how long it has happened, it has happened. Whether it be 1970 or 1870 or 1770, no matter the date, it should be relevant today as it was yesterday or the day before. So I say, no retreat, no surrender. And Carla, I respect your Catholicism, because I know you don't see no St. Peter. You see Legba. I know you see the Orishas and the Vodons in all these saints as they put there.
Yeah, that's why I go. That's why I go to Yemaja every
go
day.
there and we recognize our people
All right.
in those images.
Thank you.
All right, let's take one more. Caller, go ahead. You're live. Quickly.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask a quick question. The role, what is one of the purpose or the role of the Attorney General? Isn't it to represent the Federation on legal matters? And if so, why aren't he instrumental in pushing this reparation case forward? for the people of the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Okay.
I'll listen out the ear. Thanks.
All right, and that's going to do it for the calls. But Carla, you could pick up on any of those and
This
wrap up
last
for us.
question, as I said, and I reiterate, I'm putting a report together. This is why you have committees. The committees will make a report, and then the government will move as it sees fit. So whether it is that the Prime Minister passes it to the Attorney General or however it goes, I am not a civil servant. I do not work in government. I'm just someone who has always been African conscious of our history, and so I've been placed in this position, and I'm just doing what I can in my, in this way with committee members to, bring about awareness of Emancipation Day, awareness of other historical dates of importance in our history, important people, important things that happened, and so on, and of course on reparations as well. So that's all I'm doing.
All right, and we want to thank you, Carla, for giving us some time, giving us some update on the reparations effort and your efforts to bring more awareness to our people with regards to Emancipation Day, or Emancipation Weekend. All right, and that's going to do it for us.
Thank you.
Right here on Frank and Candid. We'll be back tomorrow with much more. I'm Tony Nass. Enjoy the rest of your day.